Did you know that over 80 famous rock and metal musicians have died before reaching the age of 50, many in shocking, violent, or mysterious ways? From onstage assassinations and fiery crashes to silent overdoses in hotel rooms. 30 heavy metal stars who tragically died too young. 1. Dimebag, Daryl Abbott, 1966 to 2004. Daryl Abbott, who many called Dimebag, played guitar in Pantera and later in Damageplan. His loud, heavy guitar sounds made him a big name in metal music. He made music feel alive. His playing was full of fire. The way he made his guitar scream was something fans never forgot. He brought energy to every show and pushed a new style into the metal world. But then something terrible happened. In 2004, while he was playing on stage in Ohio, a man came close and did a horrible crime. Dimebag was eliminated at only 38 years old. The stage went silent. The world lost a true leader in metal. His story ended too soon, and fans everywhere still feel that pain. He gave everything to music, and the way he left still feels unreal. 2. Cliff Burton, 1962 to 1986. Cliff Burton was the bassist for Metallica during the band's early rise. He didn't just play the bass. He made it sound big and full of life. His music gave Metallica its deep, strong feeling. On albums like Master of Puppets, his talent was clear. His fingers moved fast, but his ideas were even faster. Fans loved him because he played from the heart. But during a tour in Sweden, tragedy hit. The band's bus slid on ice and turned over. Cliff was thrown out and lost his life at only 24. Just like that, the music stopped for him. The band changed forever after that. Cliff wasn't just a player, he was a spark, one that was put out far too early. What he could have done with more time still haunts many fans. 3. Randy Rhoads, 1956 to 1982. Randy Rhoads was a guitar player who worked with Ozzy Osbourne. He mixed metal with smart ideas from classical music. His solos were fast, but full of feeling. Every note mattered. He was not just good, he was different. Randy made people believe that metal could be smart and strong at the same time. His guitar almost spoke. He was on his way to changing everything about the way metal sounded. But in 1982, he got on a small plane. That plane crashed, and Randy was gone at only 25. Just like that. No warning. Fans still wonder what kind of music he might have made if he had more time. The loss wasn't just sad. It was a break in the future of music. His name still stands because of what he left behind. 4. Paul Gray, 1972-2010. Paul Gray helped start the band Slipknot. He played bass with power and speed. He didn't care about being the center of attention. He cared about the sound. Slipknot's angry, hard sound came from people like Paul. His music felt raw, real. On stage, he gave everything. But off stage, he had struggles. In 2010, he was found alone in a hotel. He had taken too many illegal substances. At just 38, his life ended quietly. No big moment, just silence. That silence hit the band hard. Paul was a big part of Slipknot's soul. Without him, something was missing. He helped build the sound, and when he was gone, the band had to learn how to move forward without its core. 5. Peter Steele, 1962 to 2010. Peter Steele led Type O Negative with his deep, low voice. His music was slow, dark, and full of emotion. He wasn't afraid to sing about hard things. Sadness, loss, fear. His songs felt like cold nights and heavy hearts. He was tall and strong, but his voice carried weight most people couldn't hold. He didn't chase trends. He made his own way in the music world. In 2010, his heart gave out. At 48, he was gone. Just like that. A strong body, but a tired heart. The music world felt the drop. The voice that once rumbled through speakers everywhere was now only in memories. Peter's songs still play, but that feeling he gave is harder to find. 6. Wayne Static, 1965 to 2014. Wayne Static ran Static X with a loud voice and a wild look. His tall hair and machine-like sound made people take notice. He liked mixing metal with computer beats and heavy rhythm. His band brought something new to the early 2000s. Wayne gave each show his full energy, but outside the lights, life was harder. In 2014, he passed away after using a mix of alcohol and illegal substances. He was 48. His voice, once sharp and strong, went quiet. Behind the style was someone dealing with real pain. His music still lives, but the person behind it is gone. The early days of Static X felt full of promise, but Wayne never got to finish the story. 7. Kevin DuBrow, 1955 to 2007. Kevin DuBrow sang for Quiet Riot, a band that helped bring metal into the spotlight in the 80s. Songs like Come On Feel the Noise became hits. His voice was clear and bold. He helped lead a sound that people still remember today. But fame fades, time moves on. In 2007, Kevin was found alone in his home. He had used too much of an illegal substance. He was 52. The man who once shouted metal into the world was now silent. His story is a warning. Talent doesn't protect you from pain. His voice made metal louder, but his end was quiet and sad. His band made a mark, but Kevin's name stands as both a rise and a fall. 8. Chuck Schuldiner, 1967 to 2001. Chuck Schuldiner didn't just play music, he changed it. He built a band named Death and gave the heavy metal world something brand new. His guitar playing was fast but smart. His songs had feeling. He made music that was loud and sharp, but also deep. Some fans called him the father of death metal, not because he wanted to be famous, but because he pushed the limits of what music could sound like. He didn't follow others. He made his own path. People listened, bands listened, and everything changed. Chuck didn't sing about happy things. He sang about pain, fear, and what it meant to be human. His music was dark but honest, and he worked hard. Every album was better. Every show hit harder. But behind the guitar, Chuck had a fight he didn't choose. A sickness grew in his head, brain cancer. He kept working, kept playing, kept giving fans all he had. But at just 34, that sickness took him. One of the smartest, sharpest minds in metal was gone. Fans still wonder what more he could have done. He left too soon, and heavy music still feels that missing piece. 9. Alexi Laiho, 1979 to 2020. Alexi Laiho made a guitar look easy. As the leader of Children of Bodom, he played fast, wild, and with perfect control. He wasn't just skilled, he was electric. He moved across the stage like the music came from his whole body. He didn't copy anyone. He made his own sound, mixing melody with madness. He brought big crowds into a darker world of music and showed them something sharp and bold. But that power came at a cost. Years of touring, loud shows, and heavy living took a toll on his health. His body began to slow down, even when his mind still burned hot. By the time he was 41, his health had dropped fast. The damage had built up. He passed away from health problems caused by all those hard years. Fans didn't just lose a player, they lost a spark. He had more music in him, but time ran out. The stage lights dimmed, and something bright went missing. 10. Eric Carr, 1950 to 1991. When Eric Carr joined Kiss in 1980, the band needed new life. He gave them that. His drumming wasn't just loud, it was full of force and heart. He didn't just play beats, he lifted the whole band. Fans saw him not just as the guy behind the drums, but as the soul of the music. He was humble, real, and strong. On stage, he played like thunder. Off stage, he treated people with kindness. But then, a rare sickness took hold. It was a cancer in his heart. He tried to fight, but there was no winning this time. At 41, he passed away. Kiss had to go on without him, but it was never quite the same. The sound changed. The feeling changed. Eric wasn't just part of the band. He was the heart. And when that heart stopped, fans felt it everywhere. 11. Mitch Lucker, 1984 to 2012. Mitch Lucker stepped on stage and took over. As the lead singer for Suicide Silence, he screamed out words that people felt deep inside. His voice was rough, wild, and full of emotion. He wasn't just singing. He was shouting out all the fear, pain, and anger people didn't know how to say. He moved like lightning. He made crowds jump and shake. His music was heavy, but his message was real. Mitch gave a voice to those who felt lost, but one night the sound stopped. At only 28, Mitch got into a crash while riding his motorcycle. He didn't make it. No warning, no goodbye, just gone. Fans around the world froze. The man who had given them a way to let out their pain was now silent. The band kept going, but the spark was different. Mitch was the fire. Without him, something bright and wild was gone forever. 12. Dave Williams, 1972 to 2002. Dave Williams had a voice that couldn't be ignored. As the first singer of Drowning Pool, he brought a loud, rough energy that shook the room. His band's first album had songs that stuck in people's heads. One of them, Bodies, became a big hit. Dave didn't sound clean. He sounded real. His voice was made for music that didn't hold back. People listened and felt something deep. But just as things were rising, it all stopped. While on tour, Dave passed away in his sleep from heart failure. He was only 30. The news shocked fans. One day he was on stage, the next he was gone. The band tried to move forward. They found new voices, but nothing felt quite the same. Dave had a sound that couldn't be replaced. He was a flame that burned fast and hard, and then was gone too soon. 13. Sid Vicious, 1957 to 1979. Sid Vicious wasn't known for perfect playing. He was known for something else, a look, a feeling, an energy that screamed rebellion. He played bass for the Sex Pistols, a group that crashed into the world like a storm. His music was messy, loud, and full of anger. He didn't want to be clean. He wanted to be heard. He dressed wild, acted wild, and showed people that music wasn't just about skill, it was about raw power. But that wild life came with trouble. Sid lived fast and hard. He got pulled into violence, into dark places, into choices that led to pain. He was arrested for a horrible crime involving his partner. The details still confuse people. A few months later, at just 21, he passed away after using illegal substances. Some say he wanted out. Others say he didn't know another way. Whatever the truth, his story ended in silence. 14. Hillel Slovak, 1962-1988. Hillel Slovak was the first guitar player in the Red Hot Chili Peppers. He was full of energy and wild ideas. His music felt fresh and bold. He mixed fast rhythm with strange, fun sounds. The band's early songs had his fingerprint all over them. He could make the guitar, sing, scream, and dance. But when the lights turned off, things weren't right. He was using illegal substances, and it was getting worse. He was hiding pain behind loud music. His life was spinning out of control, and people around him could see it. At only 26 years old, he was found gone. The cause was an overdose. It was a sad, sudden end. Fans felt a big hole in the band's sound. He helped start something huge, but never got to see it grow. His story is not just about talent, but also about trouble that was never stopped in time. 15. Tommy Bolin, 1951 to 1976. Tommy Bolin was a guitar player who played like no one else. He worked with big bands like Deep Purple and the James Gang. He didn't stick to one sound. He mixed jazz with rock and made something new. His fingers moved fast, and his mind was always looking for a new sound. Some people thought his music was too different, but others saw the magic in it. He was brave with his playing, but away from the music, he had struggles. He used illegal substances, and they took a toll. He didn't always take care of himself. At just 25, he was gone. He had so much more music to make. His fire burned bright, but ended too soon. People still wonder what more he could have done. 16. Caleb Schofield, 1978 to 2018. Caleb Schofield was not on every magazine cover, but those who knew heavy music knew him well. He played bass and sang in loud, deep bands like Cave In and Old Man Gloom. His sound was thick and powerful. Every note felt heavy. His voice was rough, full of truth and pain. He was strong on stage and kind off it. He didn't chase fame. He chased real music. People in the underground world of metal and hardcore respected him a lot. He was real, and fans felt that. One day, at the age of 39, his life ended in a car crash. It happened so fast, and it didn't seem fair. His music had strength, and now it became a memory. Friends and fans cried not just for the sound, but for the man behind it. 17. Mike Scaccia, 1965 to 2012. Mike Scaccia was known for speed and fire. He played in bands like Ministry and Rigor Mortis. His guitar could roar like thunder. His fingers moved like lightning. He made sounds that cut through the air. People watched him play and couldn't look away. He didn't care about being fancy. He just wanted to play louder and faster than anyone else. His shows were wild. He gave all of himself to the music. Then, one night, while playing on stage, he collapsed. In front of everyone, he was gone. It was a heart problem. At 47, he left this world while doing what he loved most. The room was full of noise, and then it went quiet. Fans stood in shock. They had seen a man give everything and then vanish. His end made people think about how short even the loudest lives can be. 18. Ole Herbert, 1974-2018. Ole Herbert was the lead guitar player for All That Remains. He made sharp, clean sounds that still hit hard. His music was a mix of old metal and new metalcore. He stood in the back, but his sound was right up front. He worked hard to make every note right. He didn't talk much, but his guitar spoke for him. People liked how he brought feeling into fast, hard songs. At 44, he died in what was called a drowning near his home. But the details were strange. Many fans had questions. It felt like something was missing. The news was hard to believe. He had just been working on new songs. It was like a book that ended mid-sentence. His music stays, but the man behind it is gone. He left behind sounds that feel both strong and sad. 19. Mia Zapata, 1965 to 1993. Mia Zapata was the lead singer of the Gits. Her voice was full of power and pain. She sang like she meant every word. Her music was fast, rough, and real. She brought punk rock alive in a way few others could. She didn't follow rules. She made her own path. Fans looked up to her. She had something special. But the world outside the music was not kind. At 27, she was taken in a horrible crime. It shocked her city and her fans. People couldn't believe something so dark could happen to someone so full of life. Her friends didn't stay silent. They pushed for answers, and years later, the person behind the crime was found. But it didn't bring her back. It only showed how much was lost. Her music became more than sound. It became a message of strength. 20. Jason Sherlock, 1970-2022. Jason Sherlock was a name whispered in quiet corners of the heavy music world. He was not in the spotlight, but when his hands hit the drums, everything changed. He played for Christian metal bands like Mortification and Horde, but what came out of the speakers wasn't soft. It was loud, fast, and wild. His drumming sounded like a storm. It made people stop and listen. His beats were heavy, but they also had purpose. He mixed belief with power, and that was not easy to do. Jason didn't chase fame. He stayed in the shadows, but his fans saw what he did. He wasn't just another guy in a band. He played with focus, like every hit meant something. Even though he was part of a small scene, his sound was big. Then he was gone, passing away suddenly in his early 50s. There was no big news story, just quiet shock. But those who knew his work felt the loss hard. His drums are silent now, but people still hear them in their minds. 21. Piotr Grudzinski, 1975-2016. Piotr Grudzinski could make a guitar sing and cry at the same time. He played for Riverside, a Polish band that mixed heavy sounds with quiet sadness. His music wasn't about showing off. It was about feeling. He used his guitar to talk to people. He reached deep places, even if you didn't know the words. He didn't get old. At just 40 years old, his heart stopped. No warning, just gone. Fans were shocked. The band felt broken. Piotr had been the quiet power behind it all. His hands brought color to dark music. Now, they were still. Some people never knew his name, but those who did never forgot the way he played. He left a hole in the middle of something beautiful. 22. John Kinemund, 1961-2013. Jan Koeneman stood tall in a time when women had to fight hard to be heard in metal. She didn't yell or push. She picked up a guitar and let her music do the talking. She started the band Vixen and helped break open a door many thought would stay closed. Her fingers flew across the strings, turning soft hands into weapons of sound. Jan wasn't just good. She was sharp, clean, and full of drive. Vixen found fans, even in a world that didn't want to change. But behind the stage lights, her own fight was growing. She battled illness, and cancer took her at 51. There were no big awards, no long TV shows about her life. But the ones who saw her play knew they had witnessed something rare. Her music still speaks for her. 23. Robin Crosby, 1959 to 2002. Robin Crosby stood out in every way. Tall, loud, and unforgettable. As co-lead guitarist for Rat, he helped shape the sound of a band that rode the top of the hard rock wave in the 1980s. He co-wrote some of their biggest hits, tracks that packed stadiums and blared across MTV. But behind the teased hair and stage lights was a guitarist with grit. Robin's playing wasn't just flash. It had structure, tone, and emotional weight. His solos were built for melody, not just speed, and his rhythm work made songs like Round and Round hit hard and last long. He studied classical music theory in his youth, and that gave him a different edge in a scene full of showmen. Robin could deliver a crushing riff, but knew exactly how to let a note breathe. He was often the calm in the chaos, keeping the band focused when things got wild. His bandmates respected him, and fans loved him, not just for his skills, but for the way he carried himself with honesty and humility. But away from the spotlight, Robin's life took a darker turn. He became entangled with illegal substances, and the effects took a heavy toll. As the years passed, his health began to fail. He was diagnosed with a life-altering illness and eventually spoke openly about his condition. In his final years, he became a cautionary voice, warning others about the cost of the lifestyle that nearly destroyed him. He passed away in 2002 at age 42. His cause was tied to both illness and the long-term damage from illegal substances. Ingo Schwichtenberg, 1965 to 1995. Ingo Schwichtenberg gave Helloween their thunder. As the band's original drummer, he brought clarity and precision to a style that demanded both. Power metal was just finding its shape, and Ingo helped define it. His playing drove the band's best-known albums, giving songs like I Want Out and Eagle Fly Free a steady heartbeat under the soaring guitars. He didn't just keep time, he launched songs forward. Every hit of the kick drum had energy behind it, and every fill was clean, sharp, and intentional. Live on stage, Ingo was electric. He grinned wide and played like the music flowed straight through him. Fans felt it. He could push the tempo without losing control, and he handled complex arrangements like second nature. He had a strong jazz background, and that gave his drumming a loose but locked feel, balancing structure with freedom. He quickly became a fan favorite, and many still say he was the soul of the band's classic era. But away from the stage, Ingo began to struggle. He dealt with serious mental health challenges that grew worse over time. He stepped away from Helloween in the early 1990s as the symptoms became harder to manage. His departure wasn't just about the music, it was about survival. Friends and family hoped he'd find stability, but he never fully recovered. In 1995, Ingo passed away in a quiet, tragic moment that shook the band and their fans. He was only 29. His loss is still felt deeply in the metal world, especially in Europe, where he helped launch an entire style of music. His playing is studied and copied by younger drummers trying to understand how power and precision can live side by side. Ingo's legacy is larger than any one song. He was the sound of a new movement and the reminder that even the loudest hearts can fade in silence. 25. Per Yngve Dead Olin, 1969 to 1991. Per Yngve Olin, known by the name Dead, was not like other singers. He didn't just perform black metal, he lived inside it. As frontman for Mayhem, he brought something raw and unsettling to the stage. His voice sounded less like a person and more like a scream from another place. He performed in corpse paint, wore torn clothes, and smeared blood across his chest. The shows were jarring, eerie and unforgettable. Dead didn't play a role. He was revealing himself. What others called a show, he treated like a ritual. Dead's lyrics focused on isolation, darkness, and decay. He didn't talk much. He kept to himself. Bandmates said he seemed distant, like he never fully lived in the same world as everyone else. He was sensitive, serious, and private. Those who knew him saw someone thoughtful and soft-spoken, but also deeply withdrawn. He spoke often about feeling detached from life, about not belonging. His death came in 1991 at age 22 in a quiet, lonely moment that left shockwaves through the band and the black metal scene. His passing was made worse by what happened next. Another band member took photos of the scene, later using one for a bootleg album cover. That decision became one of the most disturbing moments in metal history, turning a real tragedy into a spectacle. But over time, fans began to see through the myths and focus on the person. Dead helped shape the look, sound, and feeling of an entire genre. His influence is still everywhere in black metal, the screaming vocals, the cold image, the sense of dread. But behind all that was a young man struggling with deep emotional pain. 26. Jonas Bergqvist. B. 1975 to 2011. Jonas Bergqvist, also called B, was part of a band that sounded like a cold wind in the dark. Life Lover made music that was heavy and sad at the same time. It felt like walking through empty streets at night with bad memories in your mind. The band mixed loud metal with strange, lonely sounds that felt like crying without tears. Jonas helped build that feeling. He brought something soft to the rough world of black metal. His voice was like a cracked mirror, showing hurt in every sound. People felt his music in their bones. Then he was gone. He died at 36. They said it was from too much of something illegal. It was quiet, sudden. A man who shared his pain with music disappeared, leaving fans wondering what more he could have made. Every echo in his songs now sounds like a goodbye. Some say he was too honest for this world. Others say he carried too much weight. Either way, what he gave was real. He didn't just make noise, he made pain into sound. 27. Mock Daniels, 1983 to 2010. Mock Daniels screamed like his life was on fire. He sang for Early Graves, a band that didn't care about being soft or easy. Their sound was loud and wild, like a storm inside a speaker. Mock stood in the middle, shouting words that felt like broken glass. He gave all he had. His voice was not just noise, it was a message. You could feel the fight in him, the rage, the passion. Then one day, while on tour, their van crashed. He was gone. Just 26. No warning, no last song. The road took him, and silence followed. The world lost someone who didn't fake it. He wasn't looking for fame. He was looking for truth, and he found it in every scream. Now his fans carry his fire, even if the flame is smaller. It's a hard reminder that sometimes even the strongest voices can go quiet too soon. 28. Trond Brothen, 1977 to 2012. Trond Brothen used the name Trondur Nifas. He played in bands like Urgahal and Beastcraft. These were not bands you heard on the radio. They were raw, sharp, and cold, like a knife in a snowstorm. Trondur was not afraid of the dark side. He played guitar with rage and he sang with fire. He kept his music strong and full of power. Some people were scared of it. Others found peace in the noise. Trondur didn't explain much. He just made the music and let it speak. Then one day, he died. He was 34. No one shared how it happened. No news, no answers, just gone. His fans were left in shock. He had more songs in him, but now all that remains is what he already gave. His guitars still echo in dark rooms, and those who heard him once still remember. He didn't need big crowds. He just needed to be heard by the ones who understood. 29. Witold Vitek Kiotika, 1984 to 2007. Vitek was a drummer who played like thunder. He was part of Decapitated, a band from Poland that was fast, smart, and full of force. Vitek didn't just keep the beat, he ran with it. Every time he picked up his sticks, it felt like a storm was coming. He was only 23, but people already said he was one of the best. He had speed, skill, and something special that couldn't be taught. Then one day, while the band was traveling in Russia, a crash stopped everything. Vitek was taken in that moment. He didn't get to grow old or play slower songs. His time ended while the world was just beginning to notice him. Now, fans listen to old recordings and think about what could have been. His band kept going, but it was never the same. Vitek played like he had fire in his hands. That fire burned bright and fast. And now, all that's left is the smoke. 30. Mick Zane, 1959 to 2016. Mick Zane was a man of strings and steel. He played guitar for Malice, a band that stood on the edge of old-school metal and fast, wild-speed metal. Mick made his guitar talk. His solos felt like they were pulling you into a different world. Not many people knew the name Malice, but real fans did. Mick wasn't flashy. He was sharp, careful, and full of soul. Then came brain cancer, quiet and slow. It crept in and took him. He was 57. He fought, but the illness stuck with. He kept playing as long as he could. Even near the end, he held his guitar close. Now his music is still out there, in old tapes and forgotten records. Fans play them and remember a time when guitar heroes didn't need big lights, just real sound. Mick gave his heart through his strings, and it still beats, quietly, in every note.